Lorwyn Eclipsed didn't just give us new Merfolk cards, it helped push my mono blue deck into Azorius. And today we're going to break down the upgrade, my synergy pieces, and how this build stays around $140. Welcome back to our channel, The Andrews Archives. This is Alyssa, and this deck was originally my mono blue Merfolk deck with Svyelun as my commander. But Lorwyn Eclipsed really changed the direction of that. There's new Merrow support, new scaling tools, and white solving some major weaknesses my deck had in the first place. White really fixed some things that blue had gaps with. Mono blue struggled with clean removal, board protection, and permanent answers, but white gives us some cards like Swords to Plowshares, Path to Exile, Flawless Maneuver, and Dovin's Veto. Suddenly, the deck becomes far more stable than it started. Lorwyn Eclipse is my favorite set so far, and I'm so glad that it helped give us white Merrow, Azorius Convoke cards, and tap-untap synergies that I was able to add into this deck. The color expansion really just made sense. Now let's dive into our commander, Sygg Wanderwine Wisdom. He's unblockable, he's a card draw enabler, and he transforms. Whenever he enters or transforms, target creature gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, draw a card until end of turn. This is giving us reliable value, and it's perfect with evasive Merfolk. Now let's transform Sygg into Wanderwine Shield. This Sygg also can't be blocked, and when he transforms into Sygg Wanderwine Shield, target creature you control gains protection from each color until your next turn. This is huge for combat safety. Our deck strategy here is to go wide, scale with counters, abuse evasion, and draw an absurd amount of cards. Now let's get into the creature upgrades I did specifically from the Lorwyn Eclipsed set. The first card here is Eclipsed Merrow. When this creature enters, you get a look at the top 4 cards of your library. You can reveal a Merfolk, Plains, or Island, so it's going to help smooth draw and fix our Azorius colors. Next is Adept Water Shaper. Other tapped creatures that we control have Indestructible. In a deck with Convoke creatures, attack heavy turns, and Cathar's Crusade, this is definitely board wipe insurance. Deep Channel Duelist gives us untapped synergies, and it helps scale counters. Tributary Vaulter has flying. When it becomes tapped, another target Merfolk I control gets +2/+0 until the end of turn. Merrow Sky Swimmer really does everything. We can convoke it in, it's got flying, vigilance, and it creates a 1/1 token. Then we have Champions of the Shoal, and this is a little bit of a sneaky disruption piece. Deepway Navigator has the ability to flash in, and when it comes in, we can untap all the other Merfolk we're controlling. The last Merfolk I want to feature is Mist Dancer, and this one isn't from Lorwyn Eclipse, but I kept it from my original deck. This is absolutely one of my favorite cards in the deck. It has flying, it also gives other Merfolk I control +1/+0, and flying as well. This one's definitely going to get targeted, but it has that encore option, which is fantastic. Mist Dancer, along with Adept Water Shaper, gives us flying, indestructible Merfolk. We go from being, oh, they have Merfolk, to, oh my gosh, how am I gonna get rid of their creatures? Next, let's go ahead and talk some spells. First, we've got Harmonized Crescendo, which lets us convoke it in, and then reloads our hand with all the Merfolk we have on the board. We've got Unexpected Assistance, which also lets us convoke it in. This lets us draw 3 cards and then discard 1. Sygg's command allows us to either copy a Merfolk, lifelink swing, card draw, or tap a creature and put a stun counter on it. What's even better is we get to choose 2. We've also got Keep Out, and this lets us either deal 4 damage to a tapped creature or destroy an enchantment. And sometimes the best answer is just a simple counter spell. This deck isn't relying on just one counter card, it's stacking multiple engines that snowball the entire board. We've got Cathar's Crusade, which is a huge threat. Whenever a creature enters, we get a +1/+1 counter everywhere. In this deck, that means our tokens, cheap Merfolk, our convoke creatures, and even our clones are quickly becoming massive threats. Sage of Fables is in there, and many of our Merfolk are wizards, so they enter with +1/+1 counters, and we can remove those counters to draw a card. Coral Helm Commander allows us to level them up. It gives us an early creature, it gets flying, and then it gives other Merfolk +1/+1. Inexplorable Tide lets us proliferate anytime we cast a spell, so Crusade, Commander, and Sage counters are multiplying. Every spell is growing the board. The next one is one of my absolute favorite cards, Herald of Secret Streams. This is where it becomes extremely lethal. Creatures we control with +1/+1 counters can't be blocked. My 3 favorite cards in this deck allow us to have flying, indestructible, unblockable Merfolk, and it gets crazy. Our Merfolk swarm is definitely going to be telling the competition goodnight. Our final deck cost was around $140, and a lot of this was from cards I already had. I had that mono blue deck that I upgraded with our Lorwyn Eclipsed pools, and I am so excited with how this deck turned out. Thanks so much for watching, guys. This has been Alyssa with the Andrews Archives. If you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and click that button. Also follow on Facebook, and doing those two things will get you entered to win an Avatar Last Airbender collector booster box.
1,000 subscribers to YouTube, and we will be giving this beautiful collector's box away completely free to one of you guys. Thank you to our sponsor of Deep Dive Games.